In today's video, I'll share 5 reasons why I like this particular REIT. It all starts with its dividend yield, which is currently right above 21%, and this particular REIT is trading below its fair value of $4 using the dividend discount model. This REIT is none other than Uniti Group, and I'll address the elephant in the room, which is with today's candle, Uniti Group made an all-time low. That's another thing that caught my eye. With that all-time low, we fell right into Fibonacci levels, and I used today's weakness to start my initial position inside of Uniti Group. Now, I'll share 5 reasons why I think Uniti Group has some larger themes that can help act as tailwinds to make this bottom picking an actual good idea inside of Uniti Group. I'll share these reasons, but I'd encourage you to do your own research as well. Now, first off, for those of you unfamiliar with what Uniti Group is a REIT, but unlike other REITs that operate in the mortgage space or own actual real estate, Uniti Group owns and leases out communication infrastructure, and this includes things like fiber networks. Now, I think this is very interesting. It's a REIT way to try and take advantage of this entire AI boom, but by taking advantage of the thing that's actually powering it at its core, which is being able to transmit all of the bandwidth and that data. I think Uniti Group is poised to be a key player in this world in which we have increasing bandwidth needs. If you think about it, nearly all of our devices now are smart devices. You even have smart cars. Nearly everything requires the internet to function now. That plus the obvious one of generative AI and whatever future that entails with the amount of bandwidth that it will require from all of us that end up taking advantage of the functions of generative AI. So that's the tailwind themes that I think Uniti Group has supporting it. I think it's a clever way to try and take advantage of this internet forward world that we're heading towards, or already in rather, and do so while getting paid a very nice dividend. Now, I'll share 5 key reasons. The first reason to me is the extensive fiber network that Uniti Group has. They own approximately 140,000 fiber network route miles, and this represents about 8.5 million actual fiber strands. Now, of those 8.5 million, about 231,000 miles are copper cable lines. The reason why this is interesting is a lot of legacy players, there's already infrastructure for this. Copper cable lines have been around for quite some time. They're effective. People know how to work with them. And the fact that Uniti Group has both fiber network along with copper cable lines, I think allows you to have a diversified asset class in the actual assets that this particular REIT owns. They have both the legacy infrastructure for all of those needs, and they also have this forward-looking infrastructure for the way I think the world is heading towards. They're a significant player in the communications infrastructure space, and recently they had an merger with Windstream Holdings, and I think combined, the two will rival companies like AT&T and Verizon. So I think there you have a very nice story here. We're moving towards this world which requires more and more bandwidth. Things like IoT devices, cars, Teslas, all of that good stuff, anything that connects to the internet, this company can help essentially get you more efficient, more clean, more clear internet through the telecom providers. Now, reason number 2 is diversified revenue streams. Uniti Group has two primary segments rather. The first segment is Uniti Leasing. Uniti Leasing acquires and constructs communication assets, and then it leases it to anchor customers. This is your traditional model where they're essentially building their assets and then just going out and leasing them to telecom providers. Uniti Fiber then provides this infrastructure solution that I'm describing right now. And the cool thing about Uniti Fiber that I thought was this concept of dark fiber. I didn't really know what either dark fiber or cell site backhaul were, so I tried to do a little bit more research. And the way I understood dark fiber is this is a set of fiber lines. They're actually laid out, but they're not in use. And the way I understood it is it was almost like a on-demand switch that you could turn on for companies who needed to move mass amounts of data. So it's this very secure, private way of being able to move that data, and Uniti Fiber allows you to actually charge for that particular service. So that's what I thought was very interesting here. I can see a lot of practical applications for dark fiber. Now, cell-site backhaul was another concept which I did a little bit deeper dive into. And the way I understood cell-site backhaul was that cell-site backhaul is the process of connecting cell towers to the actual main network. It's how data from your phone gets from the cell tower to the actual internet. And that's what those fibers are for. So 2 different revenue streams, Both diversification, which I think is, again, just a natural way to reduce your risk, and yet another strong, compelling reason why Uniti Group looks like a fairly attractive investment at these levels. Now, reason number 3 is I think they have a decent growth strategy in place, and this overall strategy stems from acquiring and expanding these infrastructure assets, and the way they're doing it is through these sale-leaseback transactions. Essentially, what they do is they go and find companies that want to go and sell their fiber lines to raise some quick cash. They sell them to Uniti Group, and Uniti Group leases these fibers, the ones that these companies helped build in the first place, right back to those companies. The CEO raved about this in the 10K, and I think it's somewhat of a brilliant strategy, given that these companies helped build those fibers in the first place. They're also, we've already talked about it, able to capitalize on the increasing demand for the bandwidth infrastructure and continue to partner with communication service providers to grow their fiber lines, one of which was Windstream with this recent merger. So through all of this, I think they can diversify their tenant and asset base, they'll keep growing their miles that they can support, and they'll be poised for this future world that we operate in. Now, currently, Uniti Group reports revenues of right around $1.1 billion, funds from operation $136.8 million, adjusted of $385 million. To me, this says that there's room for better operational efficiency. They can continue to make this better, and while you give them some time to do this, you get paid a very handsome 21% dividend yield. Finally, the last reason is the obvious tax advantages that you have while Uniti Group operates as a REIT. It's exempt from federal income taxes. It can use this to improve its profitability, continue to keep investing and growing and expanding all of these fiber route miles, and it has to distribute a significant portion of their income as dividends, which allows you to take advantage of things like this 21% dividend yield. So those are my 5 key reasons why I like Uniti Group. I hope for those of you looking for a dividend play, maybe this is one that you want to add on your radar to do a little bit more research into. Thank you for listening. I hope you found today's video useful, and I'll see you in our next update.